So just a quick tutorial today on making a round circle. So you can make many things if you just start off with kind of making little circles. So I've made a few here, and people do get quite stressed about getting the shape okay. So this is what I'm going to be showing you today. So I have some core wool, although I don't use core wool. What I use is toy filling. It's much cheaper, it goes much further, and it's fantastic to felt. So I've 1.6 grams there, but you can use whatever amount that you want, especially when you're just starting out and practicing. So we'll be using, I have my starting and joining needle. I do have to write things down because I do forget really quickly. So this one is a 36 green triangular, so this is for starting and joining. So that's the first needle you're going to use into that core wool. Secondly, I have a red triangular needle, and that's for firming up and also shaping. And in this one, my multi-needle, it is as lethal as it looks. This, it's simply your starter and your joiner, but I have 4 of those needles in there, so it just makes the whole process a bit faster. So when you're starting out, you're probably going to be better just using the one needle while you're getting used to things. But as you move on, these are really handy to have. I do have the pen version, but that had an accident the other day, so this is the one I'm using at the moment. But it's fantastic. So there's my 1.6 grams, okay. So I'm going to start with my multi-tool, just because I don't want the video to go on forever. And the important thing is, you're beginning to poke into your core, keep that movement going around and try and do it relatively evenly. You don't have to get too stressed about that. And also bear in mind, when you're pushing in, if you just slow and you just watch the process, because these needles are pushing the fibres into the middle, you can see I'm not actually pushing very hard. I'm not, you know, stabbing right down and going through this space here. You can be very gentle. Now when using any needles, knowing when to change is always important as well. So keep that moving around, just giving that gentle pokes, nothing too violent on there. Okay, I'm just keeping working round. You can see it begin to take shape. Yeah, and if you see any areas and it's kind of sticking out more than another piece, then just work on that area just for a couple. Yeah, keep going around. It's looking good already, and you can see how quickly these multi-tools work as well. So in we go, working that around. Now when I start to feel resistance with these needles, because these are quite coarse needles, okay, when I start to feel the resistance, that's when I'm going to feel like I want to change needles and go for a finer needle. And what you'll find with the multi-tool, strangely, and it kind of shouldn't be the way either, but it is the way, is that you'll find resistance on your multi quicker than you will on the single of the same gauge. But just go with that. Okay, you can see this really starting to take shape now. So essentially you do have a ball there. We're just getting this down to where you want to be for your project. Now we do need to felt down quite a bit more for this. It is too puffy. Okay, now this one is going to be bigger than the ones that I've pre-measured, because these are 1.3 grams, these ones. So this one is going to be smaller, but it's not bigger than this one, but not this much bigger. It's not going to end up this big. And you can see this one's got much more of a firm exterior, and that's what we're going for. So just keep working around and round we go. Be really careful of your fingers, especially with these ones. These can be absolutely lethal, and I've come a cropper with them more times than I care to remember. So we're just going to keep on working round, and at this point I'm going to change to my single needle as well. This is done really well, but let's move on to my starter and joiner. Now this again, I'm just going to keep going around and around. So if you remember, this one's a green 36 triangular, which is absolutely fantastic for the job. Just keep working round, keep moving that around. Okay. And a top tip here. So I know that when I began as well, I'd be looking at it thinking, oh, it's not quite round, it's not quite round. Always remember you're the boss. So what you need to do, I'm just going to pop that there. If it's not quite as round as you like, at any point, just take it between your two hands and just roll it. And keep working. And you can see that this is perfectly round, there's nothing wrong with this. So I'm going to work a little more and then we'll come back when we move on to the next needle, and I'll tell you how I know to move on to the next needle. Okay, so when you're working on your circle and you begin to feel that this starting and joining needle, which is your green 36, when it starts to feel a little bit crunchy and you're getting a bit of pushback there, it's more difficult to get that needle in, just pop that aside and move on to a finer needle. So this is the red 38. Okay. So the lower the number on needle gauges, the thicker the needle is and the coarser the wool you'll be working with. So as you go up the numbers, at the moment I'm just doing more shaping. If I were to begin to add colour and details and fine details, then I would go up another number. And as I said, just keep moving it around as equally as you can. And if you begin to feel that it's just slightly bigger on one side or another side, just pop your needle down and just roll. And as you can see, so these are the ones I did earlier. So this is the 1.3 grams. This is the 1.6 grams that I'm using for this tutorial. So this is nearly ready. That's not far off the size we'd be expecting. But what you're looking for is, you'll see some kind of more slightly bumpy parts there. I don't know if you can see that, some little bumpies. So when you're working around, just try and go into those, because they just need felting down, because you're trying to get a smooth kind of appearance all around this little ball. Now I have picked up a little bit of red on there. I'm not going to worry about that because these will be covered with colour. And the next videos I do, I'm going to show you ideas, because you can make so many things from just making a few of these shapes. There are a couple of projects we can look at that are really quick and easy, and you'll be really impressed at what you can achieve after just making a few of these. So just work around, making sure that, now this one, you can probably start to hear, you're starting to hear the crunch, so you know it's almost ready. I'm literally just looking at those little puffy parts that I want smoothing down, and you don't have to go all the way in at this point either. You're just looking at those little bumpy parts, and we're just gonna make them nice and smooth. Okay, so I think we are about ready. So just give it a roll in your hands. There we go, a perfect little ball. Well done. The next videos I upload will be to show you all kinds of different projects we can do with these. So if you want to make a few before you come back, that would be great.